My name is Adrienne DePaolo, and I'm the PMO practice lead. One of the areas that I focus on and work very closely with Trevor with is growing our content as it relates to PPM in support of project management, portfolio management, and resource management. A lot what we're going to be focusing on today is demonstrating some improved capabilities, leveraging the business objects reporting platform. Trevor's going to be showing you and walking through a couple of report packages that ResultsPositive is currently working on. We take input from our clients very, very seriously, and that's one of the things that I think makes us is a differentiator between us and a lot of other firms that work in the PPM space, and we value input. So as we're going through the presentation, and as Zach noted, we're always looking to improve our content, to get input from our customers and key stakeholders as we get towards the end. If there are additional content suggestions that you have, we would warmly welcome those. And then again, I'll be supporting Trevor with any PMO-specific questions if we really start to get in the weeds on anything. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Trevor.
Okay, thanks, Adrienne. For those of you that are not aware of ResultsPositive, we're actually one of the leaders in the IT software consulting delivery for PPM. We also do a lot of work around application transformation. Executive scorecard is another big area that we do in the business intelligence space. Mobility, a lot of different areas that we're covering. And so we do have a lot of great employees that have a very wide breadth of knowledge around a lot of the HP products. And you'll notice at the bottom, we're also, not only are we an elite partner, but this current year we're the Executive Scorecard Partner of the Year, and for the prior 2 years we were the PPM Partner of the Year. I think the only reason why we didn't get it this year was because they've actually changed that award from the PPM Partner of the Year award to the Scorecard Partner of the Year award. But we do a significant amount of work in the PPM space. So what I'm going to do is first kind of talk about, what differentiates our package that what have we done to the business objects reporting package versus what you get out of the box. And that's really what I'm going to be focusing on today, is talk about the differentiators, and then we're going to go into a demo where I can show you some of those differentiators, and then we can kind of open that up for Q&A. So what you're looking at now on this slide, this shows you what you get today with PPM. It does have the SAP business objects. And it has 4 out-of-the-box reports, and then from those reports you can actually drill down to additional reports. So there's actually more than just the 4 reports, but from an end-user perspective, you would start with one of those reports, whether it's a timesheet compliance report or a project status report, and then from there you can drill down into other reports. The way they've designed it is they've kind of come up with 5 different universes. And if you look at the picture on the left, you'll notice, for example, in this report that's at the top, this report is really a combination of data that's coming from 3 different data sources. 3 different universes, even though it's really one data source, which is PPM. And that's really where the challenge becomes whenever you try to develop a report. And this is kind of something that we ran into earlier this year with another client. We were had gone on site, provided some training, and we realized right away, wow, this is actually really tough to use, even for those that are experts of business objects. And so we thought right away we can certainly make a difference by helping make this not only easier to use as far as developing new reports, but it's also going to dramatically increase the user adoption, because kind of takeaway back then was, wow, we just spent 3 days doing a detailed training, but I don't think they got it, because I think they were so overwhelmed with trying to develop a report that they kind of lost sight of this. In many ways, kind of gave up. So that's kind of been our focus. And then on top of that, we've also provided a significant amount of content out of the box in the form of reports as well. So again, this is the out of the box. It does have a reporting database, and then there's the reports, and this is at no additional cost. So what differentiates it is when we jump to the next slide, we've consolidated all those universes into one universe. And so we made it a lot easier to go after your information. So for example, you want to be able to report on your project header information, project status, maybe the health status, your financial information. In the current version, out of the box, you have to create multiple queries to do that, and I'm actually going to demonstrate that and show how big of a differentiator it really is when using the out of the box universe versus using the consolidated universe. That's one of the major differentiators in terms of capability and being able to really get in there and use the tool. And you will not have to become a business objects expert to develop some reports very quickly using the consolidated universe. So we've significantly simplified the report development. One report is basically equivalent of one query. And some of the other benefits is that we have over 30 pre-configured reports. And again, kind of what Adrian was talking about earlier is a lot of these reports we've developed, actually all of these reports, came about from customer feedback that we've gathered over the last year, saying, wow, it'd be good if we had a report that provides this or that. And we took that feedback and came up with this list of reports. And this list is going to continue to grow. So let's go ahead and jump into a demo. So what I'm going to do is I have business objects open. And for those of you that are not familiar, I'm going to kind of start on the front screen. So whenever you first log into business objects, you would typically see something like this, where you would have a favorites folder, you have your inbox, you have your public folders, and all your reports that are published, meaning the out-of-the-box reports or the reports that come with the PPM package, will be found underneath the public folders. And then you can certainly run those reports and then save them, and you can save them to your favorites. So you have that option to do that. There's also the ability to have a report. You can have it scheduled. You can have it sent to other users. You can also even have it emailed as an Excel attachment. So a lot of great capabilities that come with SAP Business Objects. So you'll notice right here, I'm on this particular folder, which is the ResultsPositive PPM report. And this shows a list of all the 30 reports we have now. And there's quite a few of them. And what I'm going to do is first start off with one report that we put together. It's called the PMO Metrics Report. You can open this one. And this one's great because this one gives you a great high-level understanding of really what's going on with PPM. This shows you at a quick glance how many projects in progress. If you have projects on hold, it'll identify those, at-risk projects, discretionary projects, number of PMs, on and on. So you have a lot of very important information around projects, as well as proposals. So you can track proposals that are out there, those that are not started, those that are looking at a 30-day or 60-day run rate, as well as the number of canceled proposals, etc. So what's great about this report is you notice that there's hyperlinks on here. So for example, if I go to the projects in progress, this will actually take me from the PMO metrics report right to the in progress projects, and it shows me all those 71 projects. So it basically allows me to get down to that level of detail. And this particular report has all the information you typically be looking for. It has the name of the project, the project number, the primary project manager, the project status. It has your various health indicators, all of your key project dates, and then it has all your financial information as well. So it has it all in one nice view. And then if you wanted to go even deeper, you can certainly select one of these project numbers, and this will automatically take you right into PPM and take you right to that particular project in PPM. So we have this set up not only for projects, but also for proposals. Let me go ahead and close this window and go back to the report. And let's go ahead and take a look at another report. So back from the list, I'm going to go back into the PMO metrics, because it's a great kind of starting point, because we've got a lot of reports linked here. And off to the side, we have other key reports as well. The cycle metrics, demand versus capacity report, as well as timesheet compliance report. So let me open up the cycle metrics report next. Now this one does a couple things. One, it provides cycle metrics around not only your proposal, your intake, but also projects. On this first tab, what this does is it has all of your proposals. In this case, it's a chevron diagram across the top, and it shows you which proposals are in the first stage. In this case, it's the create a review proposal step at this particular location. And as you scroll down, you'll then get to the next location. And as you jump to the next page, you'll basically have all of your proposals listed out. And now we're at the primary location corporate again, but then now here's a list of proposals that are in the IT validation stage. And this shows you the proposal. It has how many days it's been sitting in that particular stage. It also has your financial metrics around that as well. The next we have is on the next tab over. This shows kind of more of a graphical view, and it shows you. Let me make my screen a little bigger here. This shows you your proposals, and it shows the number of days that it's sitting in these various stages: quick review, IT validation, and it has a number next to them. So again, here we have quick review proposal 5, IT validation 22. The numbers are high because we're just using demo data. So unfortunately, the numbers are really large, but this gives you an average, a median, a min, and a max. And why this is helpful is because oftentimes you end up with a proposal that gets stuck out there, and unfortunately it starts to throw off your average. And so by looking at it in different ways and different metrics, you can look at it based on the median days or the min or the max, and it gives you a better understanding of how long proposals are sitting in stages, and helps you understand maybe where you may have bottlenecks. And that'll then prompt you to then go in and see if you can maybe try to work on maybe some process improvement to understand why is, for example, the initiate estimate taking so long to get to that stage. And then the last slide, the last tab for, the next one is around project. So again, just like proposal, we have different phases and we have the number of days that it was in that particular queue. And again, we can also drill from this report right into PPM. And then let me jump over to another tab I can show you here on the project. This last tab kind of shows you in one single view all of your projects and the number of days it was in those various stages. So what I'd like to do now is actually show you a demo and kind of help show the difference between the two different environments, the out-of-the-box universe environment and then the consolidated PPM universe that we've developed. So, and by doing that, we're going to create a very basic report. So what I'm going to do is go into Documents. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a report that gives us all of the active projects, and it's going to provide us some financial information as well. And we're going to develop this the out-of-the-box universes first. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the out-of-the-box universe, and there's 5 of them. And the first one I'm going to use is it's called the PM-derived universe. And we're just going to keep it simple and make a very basic report. But what this is going to show you is, unfortunately there's a lot of steps involved in having to develop a report this way. But then I'm going to then show you another way to do this using the consolidated universe. So whenever you open up the universe, you'll notice in this particular universe it has your project information, it has resources, request information, etc. We're going to go into the project information and we're going to grab the project number and the project name. And then we're going to bring in go down to the header and we're going to bring in the overall help. And then we're going to bring in some dates. So we're going to bring in the actual start date. And because we're only going to be filtering on the active or current projects, we're going to bring in the planned finish date, which is going to be the period. Now, one thing I need to now bring in is the request number. And the reason being is that, unfortunately, in the out-of-the-box universe, the project number is actually mapping to something different. It's actually mapping to what's called a project ID, which is only useful for the database. So it's not the true project number. So in order to do that, I need to come down into the request information and bring in the request ID. And for a project, where the request type is a project, that is, in fact, the project number. And you'll notice once I run this report, these are 2 different values. So unfortunately, this is not the number you're looking for, even though it's labeled as project number. And now I want to bring in some financial information. Unfortunately, this universe does not have that. So we're going to have to create 2 queries. So I'll go ahead and finish this query. And what we need to do now is bring in a way to filter the data, and to do that we want to look at only the active projects. So we're going to use the project status, and we're going to ignore any project that is either completed or canceled. And we'll go ahead and run this report. And so now we have our report. It has the high-level information we were looking for. It has our list of projects. Notice these IDs are different, so this is actually not very useful for us. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the report. And I can certainly come in here to the request ID and then give that a more meaningful name, which is really my project number. Now what I need to do is bring the financial information. So to do that, I'm going to go back into the query, and I need to create another query because I need to bring this information from a different universe. So instead of the PM derived universe, I'm going to be using the FM or financial management universe. Okay. Now the first thing we need to do here is we need to bring in the request ID again, because once this information comes back into the report from two different data sets, we need to be able to have a way to link the two sets together, and we're going to do that using the request ID. Now what we can do is come up into the financial summary and bring in the information we're looking for. So the first thing I'm going to get is go to the forecast, and we're going to bring in the actual base and the forecast base, and we'll just leave it at that. And what we'll do is then we want to filter on only the exclude the snapshots. So the entity type and if this seems a little confusing, it'll become clear in a minute. We're going to pick only the FS as opposed to the snapshot in the financial summary. And then what we need to do is make sure that we only bring back the active projects. And unfortunately, there isn't really a project date in here that we can use or a project status. So what we can do is we can leverage this query over in our new query. So to do that, we're going to go back to that request ID, and we're going to only bring in the request ID based on the results from our first query. And that will help us limit the results at back. Because what you don't want to do is dump out your entire database into one report. You want to minimize it to only the active project. So now I'm going to go ahead and run both the queries again. And you'll notice what happens is I have on the first report the information from my first query. And then on the second tab, I have the information which has the financial summary for that particular request. Now I can bring in, I really don't need this second report. I will delete this, and we'll use this first report to start with, and I'll just simply bring in the actual base and the forecast base. And you'll notice that all the numbers are duplicating, and that's because we haven't linked the two together. We haven't told the query that this request ID is the same as this request ID. So to do that, we need to merge these together. So I'm going to select the request ID from the first query and merge that with the second query, accept that, and then now we finally have our report. So now after generating two queries, merging the data together, we can know what we need. Very confusing, I think, very complicated. It's not only tough to deal with to train someone, but imagine being kind of a casual user. It can be very overwhelming. So this kind of just shows you how challenging it can be to develop a report. Now let's create this exact same report using the consolidated universe. I'm going to step out of this report, and we're going to create a new report again. And this time we're going to take the consolidated universe, which is in this environment will be labeled as PPM master. Let me go ahead and maximize my window. But what you'll notice now is in this universe we have everything. You don't need to go to two universes now. We have all your project information in one nice organized folder set of folders. You have your project information broken up by details, your health. Here's your financial summary. You don't need to create multiple queries. And so let's create the exact same report. We'll bring in the project number, and in this case, this is the true project number. We've resolved that in this universe. For project name, we'll bring in the health, which is down in the project health folder. And we'll bring in the overall health. We'll then come into the financial summary, and we'll actually bring in multiple. We can bring in all these measures at once. Forecast cost, approved budget, forecast benefit, actual cost, actual benefit. And now all we have to do is narrow this down. We only want to bring in we don't want to exclude the snapshots, and so we created a predefined filter for that. And the last thing we want to do is we only want active projects. And so instead of having to create that formula that says the project status is not equal to completed or canceled, we can simply bring this in and run it. And in less than a minute, we create the exact same report. So it's not only simpler, but we save a significant amount of time, have the exact same results set back, don't have to worry about merging queries. And as you add to more information, this is obviously a much more easier and more effective than attempting to do the same with the out-of-the-box universe. So again, from the time to value, you can develop reports much more quickly. It requires much less training and understanding to be able to develop reports. So with that, let me go ahead and jump back into the PowerPoint and talk a little bit about the different packages we have. So what we've done is we've taken all the reports and we've broken them up into 3 different packages. There's a basic package, advanced, and then a premier. And so as you go up to the level, you'll actually take advantage of all the reports. So for example, basic, you have your demand versus capacity, financial summary, project status, total PM detail. And what we've done really is this is really a very similar to what you get today out of the box. And we've added an additional report, but you also get the consolidated universe, which is really the value add for this package. And then if you step up into the advanced level is where we start to get the PMO metrics report, average projects, etc. And then in the Premier package, you get not only all of these reports, but also you get the entire list of all the reports. And again, we'll continue to add more reports to this based on customer feedback, and that's really how we're going to continue to grow this and grow the usability and the value of these reports.